What's going on, everybody? Welcome to 2 Cents, the show where it looks like three generations are going to collide. Welcome back, everybody. Good to be back. We're finally back, full swing in motion. Thank you for joining us again. And with us today, we've got a very special guest. He is the fourth generation around there?
Technically, it will be the fourth.
Fourth generation.
My dad's still around, so it's the fourth generation.
Fourth generation, Serta.
Yeah.
My son, my big one, Logan. Welcome,
Which
kid.
he's also
Hi.
he's also the oldest of our bloodline.
Yeah. Is he?
He's
Yeah.
the oldest
Yep.
grandson.
Yeah.
He is
He is oldest. He is
so,
oldest
yeah.
grandson. So yeah, I'm on my dad's side. He is the oldest grandson, great grandson. He is the oldest great grandson.
He's also
Yeah,
oldest
and
great
then
grandson.
because I'm the oldest grandson. So
from my dad.
from
you're the oldest grandson.
yeah. So yep. Today we brought him on because he wanted to come on and say hi and talk to us and also talk to you guys about, having kids and the next generation. We always talk about it on the show. We've talked about it before, but we thought we brought we bring one of our own on the show to show you guys kind of the things that from our family's perspective, what we pass on to them and what we're gonna leave whenever we're not here no more.
And let's also don't forget stuff that we don't pass on to them.
Yeah, stuff
And
that
then
we
also
don't.
Stuff that we shouldn't pass on to them. So it's a lot
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that we can cover in just the way the generations work, the way I was brought up versus the way I brought him up versus the way he's bringing him up. So
Yeah.
a lot of things going on there.
And a lot of different traits that we pass on. Like, for example, we always talked about aviation and how it passes on to him, and now he likes to. What's your favorite thing to do now?
Talk about planes.
Talk about planes? Yeah. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A pilot.
A pilot.
Pilot.
See, we pass it on to them.
And it's weird because I guess it's about every kid. I wanted to be a pilot when I was growing up.
Yeah.
When I first saw first airplanes and everything, but I never dreamed. Let's go back a little bit more. My dad never dreamed that I would be even remotely involved with airplanes. I wanted to be a pilot, but of course, there's a lot of studying going on. There's a lot of education that goes behind it,
And not to mention, like, it drastically changed since he wanted to be one, and then and then he got me into aviation. So it was different when I was growing up, and now it's different for him now growing up, and also not only just, the way they study it now and things like that, but also the way the technology the technology has evolved immensely. Like, for example, 2020 vision, you had to have it, you have to really specifically have it whenever you were supposed to be, back then when I wanted to be a pilot. And well, unfortunately for me, I'm not wearing them right now, but unfortunately for me, I had to wear glasses, and now you can get your eyesight corrected, and you can still join at a young age if you have, because he also wears glasses, and he was worried about that too, and he's like, no, you can get it corrected now. I'm like, oh, no kidding, yeah.
Technology's amazing with it.
Can I say pictures?
So it's
Yes, you can.
it's
No, not right now.
it's very. I'm very proud because it has followed the generations along. Working with airplanes, my son's working with airplanes, working landing systems and all that stuff, and then now to have this generation say, you know what, I want to be a pilot or whatever. He has the more opportunity that we've tried to give our son, and then he's now giving it more opportunity to his son. So we pray, cross our fingers that, hey, everything is in place, that he still keeps that mentality of wanting to go to become a pilot, and one day I get to still be here to see him fly airplanes, or maybe he could take me on an airplane.
Whatever is
ride.
advanced nowadays.
So we never know. And the beauty of it for me is we have it on video. So the video is basically kind of showing people that as parents like me, where maybe I didn't have the quite all those opportunities, but I still made it to a certain point in my life so that I can pass that to him, and then he's doing the same thing to pass it on, and it just goes in generation to generation. So don't take it for granted. You know, your kids, they see what you do, and you get them involved.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that you can do to get them involved. Like I was talking before, I'll be honest, I don't like soccer. I've never played soccer. I mean, let me take it back. I played soccer with my friends when I was growing up. I played soccer in the neighborhood,
Yeah,
stuff
same,
like that.
but I sucked.
But I don't like soccer.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't.
Yeah.
It's never attracted me. And trust me, I'm a Mexicano, 100% Mexicano de Mexico. But it just doesn't faze me. Now, my kid, the other kid, he played soccer. He joined the team. My granddaughters joined the team. They play soccer.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know nothing about it, but I'm always whenever I can and I'm there, I'm just there to support them.
Yeah.
I support them. If they want me to play soccer with them, I'll play soccer with them. So what I'm saying is, just because you don't like a certain thing, don't close your kids out for that.
Yeah.
As a parent,
Yeah.
still keep going. Like learn that so that they can pass it on to you, or you can pass it on to them.
Yeah.
So you might not like, I don't know, maybe you don't like baseball. Hey, learn how to catch. Go play baseball with them.
And the biggest one right now is video gaming. Video gaming is everywhere.
Yes.
And and we were talking about it the other day, but yeah.
Yeah, I play it.
Yeah, you play a lot of video games, and he plays a lot of video games, and he gets me involved. I try to get involved as much as I can because there's actually opportunities out there for people to have a career in video gaming in any field, and on top of that, in the military as well. They literally look for people who have military experience, who wants to fly the drones and do all that. They do look for experience, and I told them about that. And but yes, it is time is moving quick, and generations are going to come and go. But like my dad said, the thing is that the main thing is to adapt and to adapt with your kids. And if you see them that they like something so much, get them interested, or help them try to get interested in it. Because his philosophy has always been, and you've told me this every single time, if I'm not into it, I'm not gonna help. There's no way I can help you to do it. But if you're interested, I will do everything in my power to help you. And that's kind of the thing that I took from, and I notice him, whenever he's playing his video games or anything like that, because 1 minute it's Formula One, cars, the next minute it's pilots, the next minute it's video gaming. But he likes all of that. And what else did you say? Football?
Yeah, football.
Yeah. What else? That's it, right?
Basketball.
Yeah, basketball. He just won first place on his team in his school this year. Congratulations.
Right.
So yeah, but yes, it's a very exciting thing to have kids and to show them, the opportunities that are out there. You never want not want to, And if you're a parent that can do it and you show them the examples, do it. Go ahead and do it and try it and show them that you're not afraid of doing it, because then they're not going to be afraid of achieving what they want to do. My dad did a bunch of careers. He went from firefighting to mechanic. He did all this other stuff, even in the aviation career. Didn't you do like some sort of like? Were you in the what is it, investigation?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually went on investigation, crash investigations.
Yeah.
Went to school. The government sent me to school, and I learned how to investigate a crash, mechanical. There's different sections
You didn't
of
know
the
that,
investigation.
That's
So you have people that investigate all the paperwork. You have people that investigate, the pilots. You have people that investigate the what do you call it? The flight patterns and all that. I was the one that was basically, my training was to investigate the mechanical portion of the aircraft. You know how sometimes you see on TV where they said, oh, they found a mechanical flaw, or they found an engine failure, or that's what I used to do. Had to investigate those things so that I can come up to a conclusion and say, yes, it was a mechanical fault, or no, it was not mechanical fault. So we need to look at what were the consequences that led to this crash. So I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it because they
Yeah.
teach you so much, but just going out there and actually seeing it firsthand, it's amazing how you might, it tricks you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, Mother Nature, God, God's hand, whatever it is you want to call it. It is amazing how all those things work.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you can see certain things and go, this survived. Like it's not even touched
Mhm.
in the middle of all this wreckage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, how did that happen?
Right.
So then I like to ask those questions.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how does this function?
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And now it's like I got to do engine runs. You
Yeah.
know, I got to run engines.
Yeah.
I had my engine run license to sit down and start aircraft.
Yeah.
I was able to taxi aircraft. You know, I
Yeah.
did taxi aircraft.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that I did that now when he talks about, I want to be a pilot, I wish I was still there so that I could take him and say, look, sit here right next to me,
Yeah.
look at this, enjoy, because then I know he'd be like, wow, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope he keeps that mindset.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't lose it and keep going with it.
Yeah.
I remember you told me a story when you were a firefighter. Like this guy told you like his friend was like somewhere and like his friend drove off like a ridge.
I guess we're veering off into firefighting.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
firefighting, I did. Okay, so I did see an 18-wheeler. They
We're having a moment.
middle of the night.
Grandpa and grandson
He
Logan. I don't know
was
what it's
driving. You know how they have a cab
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
have two beds.
Yeah.
A long time ago, they decided it was a nice thing. It was a safety thing, and they put a net
Yeah.
on the top bunk.
Yeah.
Okay, so that when the other driver is driving and the guy has a top bunk, he can literally buckle himself in to sleep because of bumpy roads and whatnot. And I did team driving for a while.
Yeah.
There's no way you can sleep
Yeah.
because the truck is just bouncing
out of the back and forth. Yeah.
So what happened is one guy was asleep, the other guy was driving.
Yeah.
He missed the turn, went straight, and wound up in the lake. So he was able to get out, but his buddy wasn't able to get out. So
Wow.
so many incidents like that now they made it where if you're driving, by law you cannot sleep on the top bunk.
Oh, okay.
Now if you both are parked, yeah, one sleeps on top, one sleeps on the bottom. But when you're driving, whoever's asleep has to sleep in the bottom bunk, not the top bunk.
Yeah.
Because of safety concerns, safety issues and stuff like that. And I saw that when I was firefighting. But there's so many things that you can pass on to generation to generation.
And then you get moments like this where he wants to hear a story about his firefighting days or anything like that. So it's just it's one of those. It's a blessing to do that, and and generally we, that it's just a trait that we just carry. It's just something that us in our family, we have this thing where, we want to be helpful, or we want to help out, or we want to do something that that I wouldn't say matters, but that we can contribute to, and that's something that a trait that he passed on to me. I got more of the, I do like aviation, I do like that, but also got more of the first responder side of things too. So that's another thing that I like about it the most. But yeah, that's like I said, it's 3 generations that and sometimes we don't understand each other too. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. I never understood this man. Whenever I grew up, knowing what I know or talking slang and all that, and I'm seeing it with my very own 2 eyes with this one. I don't know what bruh is. I don't know what's that other word that you say? You say a lot of different words. You say bruh. You say it's fire. What does that mean? You're on fire or what?
No, like
What does that mean?
if you're talking about like food, like
Yeah.
fire, like it's good.
Then
So fire is good now.
yeah, the food is fire.
The food is fire.
Or like
Okay.
bus.
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 Yeah, like
The food is also good. Like very good.
Okay, we're learning something new.
I'm telling you that's what I mean. See, he's even thrown off. So I never understood.
Generations.
Yeah, generation.
I remember when you guys were growing up, Marcos used to use that. Word, bet.
Oh, bet.
Every
Yeah, he
time
still
we
does
say-
to
he
this
still
day.
does this.
To this day.
Every time he'd be like,
To this day.
you know, hey, mijo, did you do this or whatever? And you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take care of it. I said, are you sure? Yeah, bet. I'm like, first I said, what do you want to bet?
We give me,
Like,
yeah.
you want to bet? What do you
Five.
wanna bet?
I got a
$5?
five. I.
And he's like, no, not bet, not bet. It's like yes, I heard you, or yes. And I'm like, well, why don't you just say you heard me? I don't get it. What'd you say? Yes, sir, or yes, I heard you, Dad, or whatever.
No,
No,
it's just bet. No, everything it throws me off because it's weird how you're a sibling and you grew up kind of in that same generation, but he grew up in a different time than I did, so it was just one of those things that just like they joke around a lot saying that I was 3 years close to being born in the '80s, and they're not wrong, but I never knew how different it was until I started growing up, and then he started growing up, and he started, he teaches me about technology more than I know about technology, and then vice versa. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that we had. Yeah. I think I was more closer growing up with you. I never had those. Right?
Because I mean, again, when you were growing up, being the oldest, I wasn't much into, the new technology, new whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I could pass it on to you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until you started getting older that you kind of picked up stuff. But for the most part, it was like, like you're not as new wave, I guess, as Flaco and Adrian.
No, I'm not.
So like, okay,
I'm not. I actually stuck close. Yeah, and every time I talk about it to this day, they look at me like deer in headlights. I'm like, yeah. So it's just one of those things that just like you don't know that until you become a dad.
So we are out here. It's my backyard because it's raining, and the garage. I have to move stuff around to set to put everything so that we can sit in the garage. But today we decided to sit in the backyard, and it's actually it's raining,
nice,
but we're under our little patio, whatever they call it, pergola nowadays. To me, it's a patio. But anyway, and it's actually not bad. It's like a little chilly, not hot. So it turned out to be a good day.
Yeah, it did turn out to be a good day.
Things that got some rumbling thunder. But other than that, man, it's a nice day.
It is a nice day. It's a good day.
We apologize. Now that I just remembered too, we apologize because I think it was one of our last videos.
Oh yeah, I forget.
I'll take the blame for it. I will. If you go back to watch that little clip of our video, the flag we like to. I like to put the flag. I like to have it. Yes, I was born in Mexico, but me, I'm America all the way. I put the flag backwards. And
we have to play it because the prop guy wasn't here, so we're gonna. That's on the prop guy. That's on the people that work on the background.
And I want to apologize. No disrespect to anybody. It was my fault. I'll take full responsibility on that because I didn't check, and I just hang the flag, and like I always do, but I didn't look at it to see which way I was putting it up there,
back and forth. So
and it came out like that, and I mean it was a good show. It's just we were debating, should we scrap the whole show, just because of the flag?
Yeah.
Or should we just put it there and hopefully nobody sees it? But we're like, it's, believe it or not, it's been bugging me since the last time we filmed. That I owe people an apology for that, because you're not gonna believe what happened. So this is how much I feel about this. I used to be a truck driver, and I used to drive 35, and I would go to Oklahoma, and I would come back. Oklahoma and come back. When I was coming back one time, the city had posted their flags. You know how they post their flags at the entrance of the city.
Oh yeah.
And the first time I went by, I saw the flags, and it was the city flag, the American flag, and another flag. It wasn't the Texas flag. It was 3 flags.
I hope it wasn't the Texas flag.
But no. Anyway, I know that this is in Texas.
Yeah.
And I'm crossing already Texas.
Yeah.
But anyway, they had 3 flags. And the problem was that the American flag was not put in the right position. It was not in the right position, depending on how many flags you have.
Yeah.
And I was like, I passed the first time, and I thought about it like, wait a minute, that flag's not right. I'm like, nah, maybe it was just me. The next day, I had to go back to Oklahoma, right? Because that was my delivery ride. So I went back to Oklahoma, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to check this time. On the way back, I checked, and the flag was wrong. So I called the city. I literally called the city manager. I said, first I called the city manager.
You called
and
the city manager?
I said, who's in charge of the flag? They said, well, we'll connect you to it. I said, okay, please transfer me. He says, what's wrong? I said, the flags are wrong. I went back. I was on hold for a while. They were able to contact me. And I told them, I said, man, the flags are wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I said, the United States flag is not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not where it's supposed to be, yeah.
I said, I'm pretty sure because I read the regulations and it's not in the right place. Oh, thank you for letting us know. We'll send somebody out. I left it alone. 2 days later, I had to go back to Oklahoma. Guess what I did?
Yeah.
I went and checked the flags. And the flags they corrected them. That's the way I am. I mean, to me, I'm very proud to be in this country. My dad being the first immigrant of the family to bring us, he instilled in us that. He instilled in that, be proud of this country.
Yeah.
Because we came to this country.
Yeah.
We came to this country to succeed, to follow the American dream, and even though he didn't have an education, he went up to 3rd grade. That's it in Mexico, 3rd grade. He's only got a 3rd grade education. But when he brought us, he would instill that, like, no, you guys are in the best country in the world. You need to learn English. You need to learn these. You need to learn to talk like these people.
Yeah.
He gets upset that they want to change all this stuff to Spanish.
Yeah.
You don't like it.
Yeah.
And he don't speak Spanish.
He was part of the original immigrants that were called the Dreamers. Though the real dreamers, the ones that wanted to come here and
build a dream
and build a dream.
Build a dream.
And so that's one of the things. Again, leading back to the generation subject is that those one of those things that we pass along to our kids as people who I'm a Hispanic heritage. I'd never forget my bloodline, where I come from, and things like that. But I'm also very proud to be an American, and I'm very proud to pass that on to my kids. And he now, do you have that American tank top that you brought? So now he's got that because I got one. And speaking of it, because it's Memorial Day, hats off to to all the veterans all the veterans
gave their lives.
gave their lives, and and laid down their life for the country. We really thank you guys. We appreciate everything that you guys have done for us.
For the families that lost loved
For
ones.
the family that lost loved ones.
Again,
thank you.
We thank you for your sacrifice.
Yep.
Because it doesn't affect just the person. It affects a whole family.
Yep.
A whole generation.
Yeah.
And we're proud to be here because of them. It's just to me it's very important that my kids grow up and my grandkids understand that concept. That it's we live in a country that you can make a dream, you can make it there. But of course, we also have laws. And you have to teach them, you got to abide by these laws. See, a lot of generations have lost that. When I was growing up, our parents said, if you do something wrong, the cop is going to do something about it. And if the cop took you to your house and said, hey, I caught your kid breaking windows at the gym or whatever, we were better off staying with the cop because our parents were going to whoop our butts. My dad was going to whoop my butt. I'd rather stay with the cop.
Yeah.
Ground you.
You see what I mean? There was no such thing as grounding.
There was no such thing as grounding.
There was no grounding. Grounding. I don't know who invented grounding.
I don't even know what grounding is.
Must have been a person that didn't like spanking.
I keep telling this one, you're lucky that you know all this other stuff because I didn't have that. And
what I don't understand, the Bible. I don't think the Bible says anything there about grounding. It doesn't.
No.
It says use the vara.
The belt.
Because
the hand.
Because so you know what I mean. So I my dad, knowing this, I mean, he would get after us. Learn English. Yeah. No, you gotta go to school. You gotta be, and I'm thankful for that. So why can I not? What do you mean? I don't understand people that are upset. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It baffles me. So now that my kids are grown up, my grandkids are here, I think a lot of times they lose that suffering. They have to suffer a little bit to appreciate what they have. Yeah. And that's where we're talking about we grow up differently. We teach differently.
Yeah.
I could teach you the hard knocks that I learned, but I was not as hard as my dad. So then you're only going to show him the hard knocks that I did.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go full blown like me.
Yeah.
So you start softening it up.
Yeah.
And that's that balance that we gotta worry about. You don't want to be where you're too soft, because they need to know that there is law. Yeah. And breaking the law is a consequence, no matter what. So it's very important to learn that part of it. And another thing is, again, and I know I'm just griping here, but if I'm sorry, but if you were to ask my son and probably my grandson, if what are they? They'll probably just tell you they're American, because
that's true.
Speaking Spanish doesn't necessarily mean you're Mexican.
Yeah.
Because the color of your skin, the hair, doesn't necessarily mean you're Mexican. Because if you were born in Texas, you're an American. So let's stop all this confusion. Say it correctly. I'm my race, my ancestors are Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm an American.
But
own it. Why do you want to own something you're not? Mm-hmm. I don't understand that. And you know what? And I asked the question because a lot of people that are like people that are from Africa, true Africans, people that are from actually Mexican or Honduras or wherever they're from, if you ask them, they own it.
Yeah.
And when they hear somebody from here, like American, try to own that, they get upset.
Yeah.
have friends that are from other countries, and they actually challenge those people. Said, why you say that? You're not from my country.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you guys understand that? Just own it. You're American.
Yeah.
Is that so hard to say?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I just that's kind of the thing that I find myself, because even like in our culture, there's people that, like, if you're not really hard earned, Mexican, then they look at you like deer in headlights. So I've been in places like that because, I'm from Texas. So in Texas, obviously, you see the cowboy hat and everything. It's more Western than it is the other way, And yes, I know that our heritage, our Hispanic heritage, we're the ones that started, the cowboy movement, which was back in the day, we were called vaqueros, and we introduced that to over here to the United States. But throughout time, they learned the concept and everything like that, and it became a bigger thing than what it has, it was at first. And now, you see a cowboy hat anywhere here in Texas, and Texas is actually a good example of, like, explaining where I'm headed. I'm from Texas. I'm proud to be American. I love being a Texan, and I'm proud to be a Mexican as well. But here, if you come to Texas, it's all one and the same thing and one and the same culture. Like, we share cultures here, and here, you can start listening to George Strait in the morning and Vicente Fernandez by the end of the day, or on a Friday. So, and a lot of places don't genuinely understand that. And then there's again, in my Hispanic culture, I've been to places where they look at the hat. It's not like his hat, and it's just like, what's this? What's this? I'm like, no, I'm from this place, and they still look at me like but I'm still Mexican. Like, my blood is my blood. It's my bloodline. So yeah, it's kind of sad that people do that. I don't think it's right. I think we all should share, because again, we all this is America. We all share a culture, but we're all one people under a flag, and that's kind of thing that I learned after a while.
I think that the way I look at it is, whatever country gave you, that you feel that gives you the, I don't know, the opportunities that you have.
Yeah.
Whatever country that is.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Let's say I was in Mexico right now. Like, my house was in Mexico. I had a great,
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Hang on. Time out. I got a parent. You good?
Yeah.
You wanna go inside and play, or what do you want to do? Cause you look bored. You gotta keep up with it, man.
You gotta jump in.
Yeah, you gotta jump in.
I'm not trying to interrupt. You told me to not interrupt.
Hey, you gotta give it to the board.
Yeah.
You gotta give it to the board.
See, parenting 101. Don't interrupt the adults.
Don't interrupt, no matter what.
Oh, if you're good, it's fine. Eh?
I love
That's
good.
The Thunders reminded me of when we almost got struck by lightning.
We did. We almost got. I'll tell you about that later. But anyways, you were saying, Pop?
Well, I'm just saying that like if I was in Mexico and I had a house there, a great job, everything was cool. I could be in my front yard. I can like we do here, but in Mexico. Okay, if I could do that, then I could say, you know what, I love this country.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But what you see if you see what I saw growing up, or what my dad saw growing up,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really say the I'm proud of my country. It was a funny thing that happened to my grandma Vicenta. I think I was like 14 at the time or something like that. And we were gonna go to Mexico. We lived in Del Rio. We were gonna go to Mexico, and we went with my grandpa Marcos and my grandma Vicenta. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we went, and I used to like to poke at her, like make her irritated. I like to just do that. And we start arguing about.
That's where you get it from.
We start arguing about, I love America. America's the country. And she was like, "Oh no, Mexico es mi país. If when I die, I want que me lleven para Mexico, whatever." And we crossed into Mexico.
Yeah.
We went to the first stop because we had to do several stops. We went to a first stop. I think it was to buy tortillas or something like that. My grandpa was driving. I don't know what happened. Either he supposedly he didn't stop on one of the stop signs, and the cop pulled us over. Mexican cop. When the cop came up, they started talking. Now you're not familiar with Mexico. In Mexico, they invented the mordida. I don't know if you guys know what the mordida is.
I remember that.
What is that?
The mordida is basically
I'll tell you later.
it's a bribe to get out of a ticket. Like it's a bribe. The cops were very heavy where they can pull you over and then they will walk to your window and then they would say, I'm gonna take your license away, I'm gonna take you to jail, da da da. But if you want to take care of it, without all that, you just gotta, and then you have to sit there and go, how much you want? Over. And then be like, oh, it depends. I mean, it's a big offense. I might get in trouble for letting you go. And you're like, you roll up, a 5 or whatever, and you kind of slip it under there. They'll take it, and they're like, all right, you guys be careful. Don't let it happen again.
Yeah, let you off with a warning.
And they let you off with a warning. But that's what they call it. So it's a joke.
A couple pesos of a warning.
It was a joke back in the day that Mexico was built on mordidas.
Yeah.
A mordida. Anyway, so we got pulled over by that cop, and my grandma was sitting there, and my grandma they were gonna take my grandpa's license. They were gonna take the license plate. They're gonna do all this stuff. And my grandma was, how can we fix this, officer? How can we do this? Blah 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 blah. And then, finally here it came. Well, and sure enough, my grandma gave him some money. The cop grabbed it, like, hey, you put it down here so nobody could see, which I couldn't understand that because everybody did it. So they took the money and then they let us go. The moment they let us go, I started hounding my grandma. Grandma, not that this country was all great. Not that this country was all
Ay.
And then guess what she was doing?
Guess
what she was doing? Por eso México está como está.
Oh,
that's why this place never advanced. People like that. So that's my point. My point is, if you're gonna, I'm not saying United States is perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's perfect, but at least you get to enjoy the things that you pay for.
Yeah, you do.
You get to enjoy the things you pay for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you go to you call the fire department, they'll come and put the fire out.
Yeah.
You call the cops, they'll come and figure out what's wrong, what's going on.
Yeah.
In other countries, you call the cops, you don't know they're the ones going to take you in. They're going to rip you off. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about.
Running it out. Yeah, that's like I said, cultures, generations, and stories that we have, and what Willie, and then that's where it is because we ran out of attention span. So, but this, anyways, it's been a very, very good special episode. Showing us the 3 different generations and being proud of where we come from and being proud of who we are as a family. So we can never be more blessed with what we have.
And I don't know how this works, but if you have pictures maybe of your generations, how many generations?
Yeah, if anybody together, bring them, put them in the comments, tell us a story, post them,
make a video of it.
Yeah,
I would love to know.
We would love to know cultures or different people where they come from. We always like to do that stuff.
Because I know that a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this topic about but I do feel strongly about it. I do. Yeah. If I have nothing good to say about the country where I used to be, and it's very simple. Ask yourself, why did you move here? And if it's for better opportunity, then that alone should make you say, well, then I know where my loyalty stands. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm embarrassed to be Mexicano or I'm embarrassed of. No, I'm not saying that. No. I'm just saying that this country is the one that gave our family the blessings that we have now.
I don't think you post pictures.
Why not thank it back? Simple concept.
I don't know.
Just thank the country back. Look at those. Today's Memorial Day.
Yep.
All those soldiers that gave their lives to protect our freedom.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, they went and fought other wars, so how does that protect our freedom? Well, you know what? That war didn't come to our what do you call it? Our shorelines.
Yeah.
They kept that war up there. So what does that tell you? You know what I mean? What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to go somewhere else to stop
it, but they
from
kept it
coming this
here.
way.
So-
That's what you gotta understand.
Huh?
That's crazy.
You know,
Yeah,
so
it's crazy,
keep
huh?
that in mind.
All right.
You know, a family.
Yeah.
Thank
Personal,
them.
but thank them. Yes, again, we're doing this on Memorial Day, so yes, thank you for everybody who sacrificed their lives, and we do thank everybody. We'll always continue thanking on this show. We'll always continue thanking our armed forces. But anyways, that's been today. Thank you guys for joining us. And do you want to say that? Do you want to say it?
Make sure to like and subscribe to this video.
Like and subscribe to the video. Comment again. Comment. You know, what else do you guys want to talk about? You know, should we bring more of our family members on and talk to them about other stuff?
We're a big family.
We're a big family, so we got bunch.
We got plenty.
We got a really big family.
Yeah, we do. So, anyways, this has been 2 cents because we got 3. You got to do the 3. One more. No, replay. Yeah.
Replay.
You gotta-
Okay.
all right. It has been 2 cents because we got 3. Oh, I'm on. It's working.